Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys, trader and technical analyst for the last 13 plus years. We're going to check in on the market here with Tesla with a monster move today on some news, squeezing some shorts. The broader market chopping around a bit, reacting to some news in the afternoon, checking in on our cannabis sector, crypto stocks, and everything else. Let's get to it. So in the end, it ends up being a bit of a green day overall, but there was certainly volatility in the afternoon responding to QRA data, talking about borrowing, and this is a bearish reaction and then a V-shaped bounce and pretty much writing it off. And before that, SPY wasn't really doing anything today. You can see how range bound it was. Just failed the high of the day, double bottom at the low of the day, sideways, data reaction, non-event. And so pretty much not getting a whole lot of information. As I mentioned, what I care about this week is, do the laggard sectors, IWM, XLV, XLF, do they confirm daily uptrends? Today, IWM did it. XLF and XLV still have to do it. If we're going to have all of our major sectors reconfirming daily uptrends, we know semiconductors and the Nasdaq has already done it, but those other sectors have not yet. So as far as I'm concerned on SPY, higher low and higher high. My marker is not working. Higher low, higher high. And now next time we do see daily consolidation, we've got space to work with. Anything above 497.49 will be a daily higher low. And it's just a question of, do we do what we did last time, confirming the weekly downtrend into multiple months of consolidation? We're watching for the possibility of a weekly lower high, anything under 524. We know that it's more likely to happen if we see all of our major sectors drop to the lows at the same time, XLF, XLV, QQQ. That did happen on the news reaction today, but obviously just a bit of a fast, hard reaction. Algo's definitely reacting to it, but no follow through at the moment. So have to see signs of losing the daily uptrend for the weekly lower high to be shaping up. Nasdaq, same deal. Daily uptrend has confirmed. And how long can we maintain higher lows? Next time we consolidate on the daily, how significant is it? Is there a lot of bear volume behind it? When we do see the Nasdaq and semiconductors consolidate on the daily next, does XLF and XLV head to recent highs, or do they drop with it? These are all the clues that help us determine if money is rotating around in the market or if money is leaving the market. And so again, same thing, QQQ, anything under 449 will be a weekly lower high. Do we shape up further monthly consolidation, or does daily oversold mark a monthly higher low and a monthly bull flag? Earnings this week, Apple and Amazon are going to be pretty big overall. And of course, FOMC on Wednesday, not expecting, a ton of new info, but certainly can have some impact on the short term as well. Semiconductors, really nice bounce here from daily oversold, uptrend confirmed. Anything above 205.75 is a higher low next consolidation, which means we can pull back 5% and still be in a daily uptrend. Same thing as SPY and QQQ. Are we going to set a weekly lower high? Bulls are already liking the size of their bounce retracement. Earnings start for this sector this week. We've got tomorrow SMCI and who else? AMD. So both of those names, earnings tomorrow. You better believe NVDA is going to react. Certainly the sector as a whole. So Tesla today, squeezing shorts. So we went from complete bear control to a gap up on bad earnings, priced in, and now a gap up on news of potentially, Elon went over to China and now potentially going to get that robo-taxi going in China, perhaps faster than anticipated. That's what the news was today. You can see the monster volume. But again, this, Tesla is no stranger to in maximum fear, and then we bounced 100% in 4 weeks. And now a big old wave of fear, and here we are very quickly up 35% or whatever in 2 weeks, in 5-6 days of trading. So 3-month higher low. We've been talking about this for a long time. This is the most likely scenario. Is this the 3-month higher low being set? Bulls sure hope so. And we'll need a daily uptrend to confirm. When the move tops out, we're going to look for first hourly oversold conditions for a daily higher low. Can the bulls confirm the daily uptrend? 205.60 is the next major resistance level. But looking pretty good for this 3-month equilibrium to try and set a higher low and then keep tightening up potentially into next year. But we'll take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, as always. So I wanted a position for this 3-month high or low, and I do not have a Tesla swing position. And I could look at this and feel FOMO and get down on myself and say, oh, I should have done this or I should have done this. But in reality, I look at this setup, bug bite, and I say, I don't have any regrets, because if I were to make an entry, I would have gone against the rules that I have laid out in place that have led to discipline to be a full-time trader for a significant period of time and have success. So I would either have had to have been long into earnings, which would have been a coin flip gamble, or long post earnings without confirming a daily uptrend. And I just know that, give me this scenario 10 times and it doesn't trigger my entry any of those 10 times. The key for trading is letting the trade come to you in the way that you want it. And when it runs away without you, you say, all right, that's the way it goes sometimes, and you go on and find the next setup. And, I day traded Tesla a few times today. We had a really nice 5-minute bull flag. I guess I better go into a lot to talk about. 5-minute bull flag here under the high of the day, knowing that there was relative strength. And the Nasdaq. So I made a tweet about the Nasdaq. We'll just pull it up here. There she blows. All right, so, and this tweet is not getting any attention. It's so frustrating as a content creator where it's like the tweets that I make, the information that I give that are the most important for, trading theory or trading, like actually being a trader, they don't get the likes and the attention because people want flashy big gains, big losses, exuberant stuff that gets attention. And it's the mundane stuff that is the day in, day out trading of full-time traders that people don't care about. And that's fine. But the context here is when you can establish the most likely scenario being an equilibrium, just like Tesla on the 3-month time frame, but I do it on all time frames, and the Nasdaq gave us a 15-minute equilibrium as the most likely scenario today. And when that is the context and the backdrop of the day, you can then day trade based off of that. Meaning, so QQQ, we get the big drop, we get the big bounce. As soon as I see that bounce of 50% plus retracement, I know the most likely scenario is an equilibrium. So watching for a potential 15-minute tightening range into the afternoon, unless volume picks up significantly. It didn't. Volume drops off. That's your equilibrium pattern after a wide range in both directions. So what does that mean? That means I'm looking for a 15-minute lower high. I know the most likely scenario. I zoom in to the time frame that relates to the 15-minute, which is the 2-minute, and I look for a bearish pattern, whether it's a rising wedge or a head and shoulders. In this instance, it was a 2-minute rising wedge for a potential 15-minute lower high. 10:36, I make that post saying looking for that now, and we roll over and break bear at 10:38, 2 minutes later. This was the rising wedge that set the 15-minute lower high. All right, now what? Well, now we know a 15-minute high or low is most likely. How can I use this information? So now we watch for QQQ bulls to try and regain the 2-minute uptrend for the 15-minute high or low. Now we're pushing midday. So at that point in time, we then had, I don't have it ready to go, but at that point in time, we're looking for a 15-minute high or low. That's when Tesla was forming that 5-minute bull flag. And so the 5-minute bull flag confirms, and we're talking about it in a thread where we're talking about that bull flag, and I say, we need follow through, but bulls are positioned extremely well if the Nasdaq gives us this 15-minute high or low in equilibrium, because Tesla's at the high of the day. So if the Nasdaq's going to bounce for 45 minutes, even if it just stays tightening up, Tesla can easily see multiple percent of follow through, which it did because it has relative strength and a lack of resistance. So if I know the Nasdaq is a 15-minute equilibrium is most likely, I can look at a name that has relative weakness and scout short for the 15-minute lower high. I can look for a name that has relative strength and scout long for the 15-minute high or low. We then got the bull break without much follow through, and that would definitely have been a red flag. But I cannot stress enough, finding and getting comfortable with equilibrium. How many times have I said it? Equilibrium is the most common pattern in trading, and if I had to focus on anything, it would be getting good at recognizing and anticipating equilibriums, as well as trading within them, as well as trading their breaks. Really, that's all you need as a trader. You can find plenty of setups that meet that criteria on all different time frames. But it does help to have those other patterns in your tool belt to be able to pinpoint when the equilibrium highs and lows are forming. And it's wedges and head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders far more often than not. So now what on Tesla? We're looking for an hourly high or low to try and form. There's no red flags. When we lose the hourly uptrend, we'll zoom out, we'll scout a daily high or low, and we'll look for hourly oversold conditions. Maybe I'll establish a swing trade from that point, but certainly too extended for me to be looking long on a swing at this point. IWM, daily uptrend confirmed. Tons of space for a weekly lower high. The weekly lower high is the most likely scenario for me. It's just a question of how much bounce retracement do we see before that weekly lower high is set, and the daily uptrend is going to help be our guide. Daily uptrend just confirmed. How much follow through can we see with it? Biotech sector daily uptrend. It was one of the weakest names last week. Just barely. Well, did we get there? We broke it by 9 pennies. That's not enough. That's a double top for me. But trying to follow through with the Russell 2000 tomorrow. But got to see XLF and XLV join. XLF has stalled out at 41 or just above 41 the last 3 days in a row. 41.03, 05, and then today 40.99. Got to get over that level to try and confirm this daily bull flag and confirm the first daily uptrend since all-time highs. XLV, daily high or low set, must break 141.56 to join in the uptrend. So if XLF and XLV cannot confirm a daily uptrend, we're likely going to set weekly lower highs in SPY a lot sooner than if they can, which is why they're a top watch for me over the next couple of days. Cannabis name CGC. So in the weekend video, talked about the blow-off candle on Friday. Hourly downtrend confirmed the blow-off candle today with another leg down. And again, we're getting the most likely scenario. We definitely got a bit more follow-through on the bounce than I would have thought, but still a tightening range. We're going to look for a daily high or low, watching hourly oversold conditions, which are close but not there yet. But if we get to hourly oversold, can the bulls form that daily high or low? ACB keeps rejecting from this brick wall at 745, heading back down towards some recent lows, 615 and then 544. Another rumor in US cannabis, this daily falling wedge trying to break bull. Rumor is from opposition to cannabis saying, Sam, that group saying, hearing it may be this week, blah, 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 shut up and just do it. But falling wedge bull break, daily lower highs are broken bull. And next level is up, the next major level at 959, weekly higher low set. We're not going to forget that if we don't get news, it is a weekly rising wedge to be keeping an eye on. And bulls are hoping that we can see 50% plus bounce retracement on this weekly chart, which means we would need to get up, what is that? 964 plus for that 50% plus bounce retracement. Crypto stock, so CLSK looking for a daily high or low, stair step up and now a stair step down. And we need an hourly trend change to bulls. So we need to hold 1728 and break 1873 to confirm the hourly uptrend, set the daily high or low, and potentially look at this as an equilibrium. Big drop, big bounce, high or low, maybe a lower high. Bitcoin still struggling a bit. That's obviously a factor. But keeping an eye on these crypto stocks, I liked their 4-hour ranges on some of them. So here's Riot, high, low, lower high, and we're testing 1088 support. If that holds, it's a 4-hour equilibrium. And MARA, same deal. If we hold 1751, a 4-hour equilibrium. I could literally just go through charts for hours, and I can find you equilibriums on 3-month time frames, monthly time frames, daily time frames. And I talk about the conveyor belt of trades where I have things that I'm watching on the hourly charts, and I know they're relevant today. And I have things I'm watching on the daily charts, and I know they're relevant this week. And I'm watching on the weekly chart, and they're relevant this month. And I'm watching the monthly chart, and they're relevant this quarter. And I'm watching on the 3-month chart, the quarterly chart, they're relevant this year. And it just is a conveyor belt as the setups and the patterns continue to materialize, tighten up, get close to breaks. BA, 3-month equilibrium, has been forming for years. I don't normally watch patterns for 4 years in the making, but I've been watching this one. Jets, Airliners ETF, 3-month, tightening up for years. Dollar. So still pulling back, no weekly high or low being set yet. Weekly high or low still the most likely scenario, but being said, yeah, metals trying to bounce on the weekly. Potential weekly bull flag still in play for gold and silver. Gold more so than silver. But overall, the daily bounce, not entirely convincing. That's still a potential daily bear flag. So it's going to be the FOMC reaction. FOMC reaction Wednesday, Thursday into the end of the week is going to dictate whether metals are weekly bull flags or whether the dollar's a weekly bull flag. Pretty much likely it's either going to be one or the other. Oil, still trying to set a weekly high or low. Currently an inside bar. Again, bigger picture. I'm watching for the monthly lower high. Why? Because it's an equilibrium potential setup. Why am I looking for an equilibrium? Oh, come on. Looking for an equilibrium because of the amount of volatility. Big bounce, big pullback, big bounce. Is it possible we just break resistance? Absolutely, but I go with most likely scenarios. And for me, the most likely scenario is a lower high on the monthly and keep tightening up. Natural gas trying to shape up a falling wedge. It's pretty much the only thing bulls have going for them these days, although I would consider that a bear break of the falling wedge with zero follow through. But still a downtrend resistance line to be keeping an eye on. Simple statement, if that downtrend resistance is resistance, absolutely nothing changes and the full bear control remains. All right, we'll keep an eye on XLF, XLV, and of course, some earnings and FOMC. Hope you had a great weekend. Do good things.
You ever feel like you know the thing you should be doing, but you don't know if you know how to know what to go? Follow me, and I'll show you. Do you ever feel like things are spinning out of control and sometimes you feel like you can't find your ground? Well, it is. It's really fucking spinning. Sometimes life is tough, and other times it's even tougher. But if you quit now, you'll never know what it's like to not quit. My grandfather once told me a story, but he doesn't know any of you, and I don't know if he'd want you to know.